Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, and I would like to welcome you to Mystery Movie Night at the Regal. Already in the chat, Faithful Blue Wrench, the bird woman of YouTube, Connie Cleary. And please do remember to like, share, and subscribe. My partner in crime is already backstage. And I know you're all really here to see her. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Sin's Corner.
Partner in crime. Hello, everybody. Hello again, Deleted. Long time no see.
Good evening, good evening. Yes, indeed.
Just a few hours ago, I think.
Indeed, yeah. Around this time last night almost.
Almost 24 hours, yeah.
Almost, yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mystery Movie Night, and of course, Sin, welcome back to the program.
It's good to be back, and you know what? I won't be here for the next one. I think I told you already.
As it turns out,
I'm going to be out of time. I know, I swear. And I think there's going to be multiple ones while I'm gone, because it's like, what the heck?
Is there? Wow. Okay.
That's what my Mystery Movie Monday buddy said. So there's one on the 8th, and she said looked like there was already one on the 15th. I didn't see that in my app, so I don't know, and I don't know either. That I'll be back by then. Unfortunately, I mean, I gotta go help my brother. He's moving, and so I'm gonna go help him. So yeah, well, but it's good to be back for this one. Good to be back.
Indeed, and family always comes first, as these things go. Oh,
yeah. And I hate that. I mean, at least this brother is closer than the other brother. The other brother's all the way over there in California. And this one is in New Jersey, so a little closer, easier to get to him.
And welcome, Kenny Lee. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi. All right. Well, now, as everyone who's been paying attention to our publicity knows, that this week's selection was a horror movie.
Yes.
And there was some speculation as to what that movie was going to be. First time turning in. Oh, excellent.
Cool.
All right.
Nice to have you.
There was some speculation as to what the movie was going to be. I know you had suggested and were hoping for Abigail, and then the trailer came on.
It showed Abigail, so it's like, yes, not going to be Abigail.
Nope.
Not going to be the first Abigail. Omen, because they also showed the first Omen. But
they did?
Yes. In my trailer,
I guess I got different trailers.
Yeah, in my trailer, I thought they showed the first Omen. With the backwards stuff, the people moving backwards. That's the first Omen. They also showed a trailer for Tarot. But yeah, it ended up being what a lot of people had speculated it was going to be.
Right. And well, since we have brought it up, let's just go ahead and let everybody know. It was Sting.
It was Sting. I love this movie, y'all. I was just bursting to say that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. So Deleted and I, we never talk, almost never talk about how we feel about a film beforehand. I know we did do some back and forth texting during Origin, because we were both just about ready to walk out of that movie. But we don't share our thoughts. I'm getting my thoughts out there. I loved this movie. It was so much fun. So I'll stop and let you say what you thought.
No, go ahead. Go for it, please.
Okay. The writing, to me, now maybe if on a second watch I could pick it apart a little more, but upon a first watch, the writing was solid. The pacing was good. There wasn't fluff on this thing or fat on this thing. And I liked the dynamics with the characters, and I liked that the characters were more complex. You know, like the little girl starts off being like, oh gosh, she's going to be that type. And then you actually grow to see that there, you know, throughout the course of the story, you see that there's more depth to her than you thought. And this interesting relationship she has with her stepdad. And the way the writing came full circle from the beginning part and then wrapped right back around to that same, you know, like it finally brings you to that situation and you see the conclusion of the story. I had an absolute blast. It was so much fun. There was some pretty gnarly stuff that was shown in here. There's a person that gets hurt during the course of a spider attack, and someone in the audience across the way was like, "Oh shit!" So we had a lively crowd. Several people did leave, though.
Yeah,
but that kind of seems to happen with a lot of them.
Most of them, yeah.
Yeah. I think my friend told me that nobody really left during Arthur, when Arthur was playing.
Not in mine, no.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, horror is not for everybody. I happen to love it. And I love it when it is well written, because most horror is not. And then the characters' actions made sense to me, even though I might have disagreed with some of the, like, there was an incident that happens with the mother and the stepfather, and they're having this bit of an argument, and I was on the side of the stepfather. But the dynamic still, like the friction, the conflict, it made sense to me. I got it. Even though, you know, maybe I disagreed with one character more so than I never was like, why is this idiot doing this thing? I understood why everybody did what they did, even if I didn't like them, or you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes characters do really stupid stuff, and it's so aggravating because it doesn't make sense logically or realistically. It doesn't make, like, the writing, it just doesn't hold up. For me, the writing held up on this one. So I was very happy. Now, you go and tell me how much you hated it.
Yeah, this one didn't fly with me. I'm sorry. And I so wanted it to.
Oh, I loved it so much. I'm sorry it didn't work for you.
Because this is usually my kind of a movie.
Really?
Okay, we have a giant spider running around.
Oh yeah, running around all over the place.
The origins of the spider are
where it
interesting.
Came from,
where it comes from, which I'm not going to give away.
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting little spin on it.
Well, it helped to explain why this creature, this spider, was so different than the norm.
Yeah.
You know, so
because
that was kind of...
You do get a crash course in spider behavior in this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Which was a scene that I did like. He kind of needed that. There is a science guy character in this thing.
Yes.
A very odd individual by the name of Eric.
Definitely.
And you kind of wonder, he's just this very deadpan, Joe Friday-esque, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of. And Welcome Cream 650. Is this like Eight-Legged Freaks? Actually saw that in the movie theater back in the day. There are moments that do put you in mind of Eight-Legged. This is Eight-Legged Freaks if it were like the R-rated edition of it.
Yeah, it's been a bit since I've seen Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yeah. This is Eight-Legged Freaks without like Scarlett Johansson or any of the
or was also David Arquette.
David Arquette and all these, you know, Roland Emmerich movie actors running around. This is a movie that was actually filmed in Australia, even though
Okay.
it's supposed to be Brooklyn.
Right. So this is something
Yeah.
that I noticed. So it says, what does it say? Something Australia. It indicates it's an Australian
Screen
film. Screen
Australia.
Australia.
Yeah.
Okay.
The very first image is this logo that says
Right.
Screen Australia.
Is that the same company that did Talk to Me? Screen Australia? Are they also affiliated with that? But
I haven't seen Talk to Me yet, so I don't know.
Dude, you must watch this film. If you like horror, you should watch Talk to Me. That was for me, that was the best horror of 2023. But yes, so Australia. We're watching it, and I saw Screen Australia, so I'm expecting to hear Aussie accents. Now, I don't know how many of the actors were actually Australian. I honestly don't know, because sometimes, American actors go over there to film.
Oh, at least 4.
I didn't check, but it wouldn't surprise me. Now the stepfather, sometimes he would say words in a way that made me think, oh, I don't think he's American. But I didn't really have time to look them up when I got home. But something that was a dead giveaway that this was not filmed in the U.S. You know what it was?
What was it for you?
The doorknobs.
Really?
The doorknobs are up in the middle of the door. We don't have them like that here. They're down lower. You notice? All the doorknobs are in the middle of the door, like they are in other countries. And I said to my buddy, I said, they didn't film this here. I think they filmed this in Australia. Because the doorknobs. I mean, I would have been fine if they made it an Australian movie. Like, Aussies. It would have worked fine. I'm not exactly sure why they made it take place in New York. But I was confused because I honestly thought it was supposed to happen in Australia. And then I saw the landscape, like the neighborhood, and I'm thinking, this looks more like New York. Where is this taking place? And then you hear the talking, and I was like, okay, this guy's American, or he's talking like an American, so I guess it takes place in America. And then I saw the doorknobs, and I was like, yeah, takes place in America, but was not filmed. Pretty sure it was not filmed here. I have no idea, Kenny Lee. I don't know. It's something I've always noticed. Like in a lot of films in England and Australia, the doorknob is not where the Americans usually put it. Like we usually put it a little bit below waist height for adults, maybe like hip height. But yeah, in other countries, it's like right up here. You have to reach up to turn the knob. It's crazy. Yeah, Talk to Me was great, Big Al. Absolutely.
Big Al has a review up right now for Immaculate.
Okay.
So please check that out. He had an interesting take on it that made me more curious, because I am hearing that the ending of that movie either makes it or breaks it for you. And I'm
not sure how I really feel about that ending. I wasn't expecting this particular character to do what happened. But then at the same time, I'm like, well, okay, the actions made sense to me. I just wasn't expecting, I was expecting something different to happen. But
which has really got my head spinning about what it could be.
So you don't. Okay, yeah. So you're trying to stay away.
I've yet to see it. Yeah.
Okay. So I won't say anything further. I am curious to hear your thoughts.
Oh yeah.
I enjoyed this movie more than Immaculate, though. I'll say that much.
Oh. Okay.
I'm going to give this one a 4-star. I gave Immaculate a 3.25,
wow.
I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's how I'm serious. I really enjoyed this movie. I am so sorry you didn't. I wish it could have worked for you.
I get it that there were people in my theater who were clapping at the end of this, and I was like, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I don't know what movie you saw, though.
Did you stay through and see the mid-credit stuff?
Such as they were, yes.
There was at least 2.
There were 2. Yeah.
Okay, so you saw them. Okay.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I stayed for a whole movie. Yeah, even if I don't like it usually. The second that the credits came up on Origin, I
Oh
ran
yeah, I
out the
was
door.
out of there. I was
I
out of
was
there
out of there.
before the credits came up
Um,
because I mean, I knew it was wrapping up, and I
mhm,
saw. I think they had some stuff on the screen, and I was like, yeah, this is such
mhm.
propaganda nonsense. I can't.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
anyway, back to Sting.
yeah. Let's get on to
Yeah,
something that was more
let's go
enjoyable.
back to something
Well,
that,
for
yeah,
me
Sting
anyway, not
is
for deleted,
um
unfortunately.
Sting is definitely a better watch than Origin was.
Yeah,
For
well,
one thing, for one thing, for one thing, this isn't communist propaganda. I'll give this movie
it
that.
definitely wasn't.
Um,
There was none of that. There was no messaging. No, not. There was actually a bit of comedy in here, which I
mm,
enjoyed. Um, it was definitely rated R nasty though.
it is. And I'm thankful that they didn't try to PG-13 this, because I think that would
Yeah.
have made things that would have downgraded things in my mind. But
Hey, Drew.
yeah, this is and hello Drew. This is and please everybody check out Drew's channel. He is criminally undersubbed as far as I'm concerned. Um, yeah, this does earn the R rating. I think one of my main issue with it, apart from the fact that I found a lot of the characters to be unlikable, um, for the bulk of the movie, and then some of them finally
Kind
started
of
to snap
redeemed
out of it.
themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
um,
The little girl, definitely. I spent quite a bit of
definitely.
time not
Yeah,
liking her. But then there were moments deleted where, before all the action was really starting, where you could see that there was a side to her that was okay. She was prickly. That
hmm,
moment that she shared with her stepdad with the comic, the comic that he was working on, I thought that was very sweet and well done. And it showed you that they did have a bond. She just had things she was working through. She was on her at her core, she was hurt. She was very hurt, and that caused her to lash out in a lot of ways. But consequently, I did spend a good portion of the movie, just very frustrated with her in general and
hmm,
feeling like she was so annoying. But
hmm.
that did change over time.
It does. But there's a point in every movie in this genre, like, say for example, and I'm just throwing these out there as examples, like Tremors,
Mm-hmm.
Shaun of the Dead, something like that. There's always a point in the movie where it kicks into high gear and then it doesn't let you go for the whole rest of the movie. Like, okay, from here on in, no matter what happens, I am with this movie. I like the characters. I understand the situation they're in. They understand the situation they're in. No more clowning around. Let's just do it.
Mm-hmm.
The trouble with this movie is it takes over an hour to get there. And this is a 90-minute movie.
Yeah, before like the big stuff starts really happening. I mean,
Yeah.
there's things that go on from the time that there's killings and stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
And then it leads up to the big moment before, the showdown is going to happen. That didn't bother me though. I felt like it flowed pretty well. For me it worked. For me the pacing was fine.
Mm-hmm. And then as far as the characters are concerned, and I get it that there are a couple of them that are supposed to be unlikable. Um,
Mm.
there is there's a moment in the movie where someone finds a body, and hello to Seraphim. There is a moment in the film where somebody finds a body. You never find out who that is. Um,
Wait.
when
Oh.
the body that Frank finds
Oh,
in
yeah,
the vent,
we know who that was.
we do.
Yes.
Okay, please do tell.
Okay. Oh, okay. Um It happens in the very beginning. It's not like a spoiler relevant to the plot.
This is not a spoiler. No.
Okay, so you remember the exterminator was called? But then there had been another set of exterminators that was called?
Okay, is that who that was supposed to be?
Yes, that was one of the other exterminators. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because that started like the prologue of the movie takes place, obviously, as it says, 4 days before we see the bulk of what led up to this point. So, as he's looking, you see the hat, like the exterminator hard hat was by the vent, I think it was. And then he looks in and, so, it's like, okay, this is the other exterminators.
I was assuming this was a character we were going to go back to and meet at some point, but we don't.
No, it was just them. So. You just know you just know because their truck is there, and Frank talks about them. So
okay, all right. Well, that clears that up. And speaking of Frank,
Frank, I knew I had a feeling. What happened was gonna okay, sorry, go ahead. I loved Frank.
Yeah. I didn't.
You didn't like him? I thought he was hilarious. It was so funny to me.
He does have the one line where I did laugh. But so I'll give him that. He did give me the one that I let out during the course of the movie.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just thought, did they originally write this character for Justice Smith?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't pick that up. You talking about Justice Smith from American Society?
Well, I was thinking more Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom Justice Smith, but
was he in that? I totally forgot. Was he in
that? I'm glad you forgot. I unfortunately remember all too well.
Totally forgot he was in that movie. I guess I tried to block a lot of that. That was the third one, right? The third one in the latest trilogy?
The second one.
Oh, that was the second one. Yeah, I've forgotten a lot about it because they weren't good.
As the greatest character in the history of film, Franklin Webb. Yeah.
Oh, I completely forgot about him.
Whose one line of dialogue for 2 hours and 20 minutes was, screaming at everything like an idiot. Oh man.
Well, to be fair, Frank only screamed during one part. There was one part that he screamed in. It was a very high-pitched, hilarious scream. I laughed. I thought it was funny.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry it didn't work for you. I thought he was really funny.
I don't. For the people who are enjoying this movie, I've looked at some of the reviews. There are people who enjoy this movie. That's perfectly fine. That's great. On that basis, I hope this movie does well. It isn't pretty much like it does have like an indie sensibility to it that I did dig. The director, who's Kiah Roache-Turner or something like that. I might have that name wrong. Is the writer, director, and co-editor of this film. So this was, I'm assuming, a woman. I don't know. By the name, that's what I'm going by. Either way, the director of this film, this was pretty much their baby. So on that basis, hey, I'm glad you got the funding and I'm glad you got your movie made. So bravo for that.
Screen.
Please. Yeah. Great. Yeah. Outstanding. It just didn't land with me.
That's unfortunate.
And there have been times when I've wondered, the older that I get, now that I am no longer in that 18 to 49 age bracket that they aim a lot of these movies at. What were these movies going to start not working for me?
Taste can change.
This
is true. Yep.
Did I just grow out of this movie?
It's possible. I mean,
maybe
I want to say my taste in films have changed, but generally, like, let's say movies that I thought were really good way back when I was younger, and now I watch them and it's like, oh, they were not good. But I don't feel like I have personally outgrown a specific genre of film, or like this is like a creature horror, let's say.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I've outgrown it. I guess for me, it all depends on the writing, maybe. I don't know.
And for me, it just took too long to get where it ultimately went off to. And then you get to this third act that is, for the most part, pretty good.
Yeah.
It did put me in mind of Alien.
Okay.
Because you have, you're going down these dark corridors, these dark vents. People are being cocooned,
Right.
It does very much have that vibe to it. And you have the stepfather character, who's the one character through the whole movie I did care about from beginning to end.
I did like him. He had a lot on him.
Yeah,
and
he did.
I felt like his wife was treating him a bit unfairly during that one scene.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I was, and it was that scene where things start. No, it was after. Was it after? I can't remember.
Well, if
anyway,
you're thinking there's a point where
he says something to her, to his stepdaughter, and it was hurtful, but I could understand completely why he lashed out that way. And I felt that his wife, the mother of the little girl, was treating him unfairly. That's I was on his side pretty much the entire movie. Not that the wife is terrible, but she had this moment where it's like, dude, you're not being fair to him. He has been nothing but good to you and your daughter, and then she was trying to act like that he was showing favoritism, to the biological child, and it's like, no. But yeah, I was pulling for him the whole time.
Yeah. And then, the shizzle hits the fan there.
Yeah. Was that the scene? Was that the one where was that the moment? Or did it happen later? I know there was like a scene with the TV.
Yeah.
That's when
the scene with the TV is where everything just goes pretty much completely from there.
Was that when he said those things to the little girl? Because I can't remember if it was that or if there was an earlier scene. I don't recall.
No, that was the earlier scene.
Okay, that was an earlier
because
scene.
The TV scene,
that's
she just takes the baby and goes out of the room.
Right, and there was just like so much pressure on him at that moment, like all the sounds, the sensory overload. Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember now. But yeah, things were, I was not expecting how things played out in that very beginning, like as things were starting, and then as it's unfolding, and a certain character is completely oblivious as to what's happening. It was so frustrating. But I thought that was filmed really well. I liked how that was shot.
Yeah. I mean, so obviously we don't want to give the
yeah, trying to be really vague.
That much anything after that away, really.
If you watch the movie and then you come back and you watch this, you'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, don't get me wrong. This movie has moments. I'm happy they were able to get it made. It just didn't all gel for me in the way that I had hoped.
That's too bad.
But there are people who are going to dig it, and if you do, great. Again, I'm not telling anybody not to go see it. I know that like I said, I've already seen a few reviews. I know there are people who just love this movie, and that's great.
I haven't even yet. Yeah, I
go
can't
for
wait
it,
to look, to see the perspective. I didn't have time to check out other reviews, so I honestly have no clue what the official critics or the audience thinks about it yet. So as you can see, it might be that it's very divided on the score. As you can see, Deleted and I have completely different, take on it. Like we had a totally different experience.
Neat. And I stayed away from the trailer. I didn't watch it.
I didn't
even though I know it was available.
Yeah, my mystery movie buddy, when it started, she knew right away because she says, "Oh yes, it takes place in the middle of a snowstorm," because she had seen the trailer, because she had heard talk of what it might be, and she watched the trailer, so she knew. I had no idea. Because I was like, when it said Screen Australia, I was thinking, is Sting an Australian movie? Let me check. And I was looking it up, and then she was like, "Oh yes, this is it. It takes place in a snowstorm. This is it." So then I looked up the runtime and saw it was only an hour and a half. So I knew I'd be out of there in a decent time.
That's the other element of it, is there is a snowstorm going on throughout the entirety of this movie that is making it difficult for people to should they be able to call for help, that any help would reach them. You're also, every character in this movie kind of has their demons. You have everything going on with the stepfather trying not to snap. You have the little girl being how she is. You've got whatever the deal is with Science Guy. He's
and
a bit of a freak show. You have this neighbor who is mourning the loss of her family in a separate incident, and is now kind of an alcoholic now, I guess.
Right.
And you have the grandmother with a dementia. Which I'm seeing that come up in a lot of movies lately, or older characters with dementia. American Fiction did it, and there was another movie that has a character dealing with dementia that I'm kind of blanking out on right now. That was also last year. But then you have. Go ahead.
No, I was just go ahead. Then you have to finish your thought.
You have the Gunter.
You talking about the aunt?
The aunt.
Oh my goodness, she was a piece of work, was she not?
Jawohl, Lord Helmet.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God, it's like all of a sudden, in the middle of the Spider movie, like fucking Zone of Interest shows up, and
yeah, she was something else.
Yeah, I kept
Sashi.
waiting. See,
it was.
Yes, and hello, Sashi. It's like they have ways of making you talk. And it's just
was
good Lord.
She was terrible.
Fucking Germans, man.
I tell you,
Lord. Once she disappears from the movie, let's say I didn't miss her.
Oh no, I think my movie buddy and we were like fist bumping.
Yeah.
I love the doggy though. The dog was adorable.
The dog, yeah.
Love that dog. Because we have little chihuahuas.
That poor cat.
Oh, I know.
Oh.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, we are giving spoilers about some of the animals, y'all.
Yeah. Sorry. There
I was
are
like, that dog better not. That dog better not.
Yeah. There are, because, I started thinking, is this going to go into a snakes on a plane direction with this dog?
Oh, I forgot what I've seen that movie once ages ago, and I completely forgot there was a dog on the plane.
For some of the movie, yeah.
Oh, I totally forgot. See, yeah. Some things I just blocked from my memory.
Yeah. But yeah, there are a number of animals in this building, and yeah, we'll just leave it there. But yeah, I didn't. There were parts of this movie that I liked. It's just not enough of them to recommend.
Okay. Well, but, I recommend. So yeah. We are split down the middle. I recommend. Some people just, if you don't like horror, you're not going to like something like this for sure. If you like creature horror, you might really dig it. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad I didn't walk away from it disliking it. Yeah. But it's too bad that you couldn't enjoy it.
It's fine. That's
I mean, we're not always going to agree about everything. That's why it's fun to like have these conversations afterwards, because my movie buddy and we both really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. And so I get here and I talk to you and it's like, oh, okay, you totally didn't work for you. All right.
Not in its entirety now. But that third act, man, that works like gangbusters. I just wish they had done more of that in the first 2/3. Yeah.
If they had started that stuff sooner, I think it would have, for me, it would have had the opposite effect. It would have, because I like it when movies are sparing with things like that. If it happens too much, the effect wears off on me. So that's why I really appreciated this slow build up to this climax. And you had interspersed, you had these moments where the spider was going around, doing its stuff in the apartment complex and taking out various characters and whatever. And so I felt like you had these little blips of, oh, okay, well, this is happening. And then when the climax happens, for me, it felt like a very satisfying payoff.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was a good payoff. I wish that I had more of those vibes, that I had more of an Alien vibe. Another movie that came to mind while I was watching this was Mimic.
This is better than Mimic. In my opinion.
No. With your opinion, but I wished it was more. It had more of that kind of a feeling to me throughout, and if they had just made some of, and you don't have to do it with everybody, because there are obviously some characters in this movie you're not supposed to like, and that's fine. Right. I just wish they had made a little bit more of an effort to make some of the characters a little bit more likable, so that when I got to the third act, I cared a little bit more. But it's just okay. This is a movie where 2/3 of it didn't work for me. Okay, it's no big deal.
Oh, that's a big chunk though, so that's
All right.
That's an overall negative for you.
Yeah.
But
There were moments I just wish personally there were more of them.
Yeah.
And yes, if anyone is spider phobic, this movie is not going to help you.
If you didn't like arachnophobia,
yeah, I don't think Brad Jones is bringing the wife to this one, because I know she doesn't like spiders.
Oh, I was gonna say, who's Brad Jones?
He does the Stoned Gremlin Productions is his channel, and he does movie reviews.
Oh, okay. I haven't.
I know
I've seen his channel.
his wife does not like spiders, so this is not a movie she is not going to like. This
she will not. I'm not crazy about spiders either. I still like horror movies about them though.
Yeah,
it's not better than Arachnophobia. I'll say that much.
No,
don't go in there expecting it to be as good as that, because that's like one of the best for me as far as spider movies.
Sure. Okay. No. I mean, we're not always going to agree on these, and that's fine. And she says spiders are awesome. I do give the movie the design of the spider, because we do see pretty much its entire life cycle, very much like they do with the first Alien.
Very quickly.
Yeah. So I did like the design of the spider itself. So yeah. So there are things in this movie I like, people. Don't get me wrong.
It's
there
just
are things
he didn't
that
like
I do
most of it.
It's just, on a whole, it wasn't the sum of its parts for me. But that's kind of the idea, is we can play off of each other, and there have been movies that I've upgraded, because you had some thought on it that I didn't think of,
Oh, really?
So that's good. That's why I'm glad we can come on it, because this is what people used to do, folks. There used to be this kind of, this kind of a discourse where people actually at the end of the movie would hang out and talk about it at the end,
Yeah.
And
or like the next day at work or whatever, around the water cooler or something like that.
It wasn't, it wasn't any of this, two girls looked each other in the eye for 2 seconds, and therefore there must be some kind of identity agenda thing going on. No. I don't know what the hell is going on with YouTube sometimes.
Well,
this franchise is dead. No, it isn't. You
sometimes
just didn't like the movie,
I mean, I do feel like the franchise is petering out. But the thing is with that part of Ghostbusters, I can see why some people might feel like too much is being read into it, but at the same time, I can see why people are reading that into it, because I do feel like it's there. At the same time, I could also make an argument for why it's not. It's weird. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I can see them both. But that had nothing to do with my issues with the movie. So that was like a non-issue for me. But yeah, but you know what? Deleted. It's all about the clicks.
Sometimes it is. Yeah.
People like to generate, conflict, because that gets a lot of attention. Just like the news, it's like the news media, right? They're not going to report on good things.
No.
Mostly. They report on things that have to do with tragedy and conflict and chaos and all this. And then it's very similar on YouTube. People have channels that's their focus, is to create this, annoyance and agitation. Like, that's the whole focus of their channel. And they get thousands of views because that's what draws people in. It's a little frustrating to witness, but that, again, it's just the way it is. It is actually, I have unsubbed to some people because it's like, that's all this channel is about. And not only that, it's very clickbaity, because you read the title, then you watch the video, and it ends up, no, you're just, this is a real huge stretch that you're making. And it's only because you want people to click on your video and watch this drama that you're, talking about. Yeah, that's a bit of a pet peeve of mine, but it is what it is. It's just kind of the nature of people.
And I've said this before, and not just on my channel, but on other channels. we have to be careful to because this whole, dare I say it and use that terminology, woke, seems to be from one side of a political aisle against the other, and the other side of the aisle also has their moments of what I would consider woke.
Well, absolutely.
So you have to be careful not to become what you're railing against.
Right. I agree. And to me, that's just too much drama. So, like, if I don't like something, I'll get on my reviews. I will tell you what I thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have the time or the desire to create videos just to generate controversy. No. You know, the types of talking videos that people, oh, and look at this, and this is woke because this happened, and this and this and this, and this person slams this other actor. You know, even if it's coming from a perspective that I would probably agree with, it still agitates me. You know, and you watch it. Oh, Gal Gadot slams. What's her face? Oh, chick that's going to be in Snow White. Slams her, and you watch it, and it's like she's not slamming her. She didn't say anything. There was, but it pulled in thousands of views. Yeah. That's a kind of, you know, so that's just a little agitating. I just want to talk about movies, and if there's elements in them that disturb me and bother me and agitate me, I'll talk about that.
Yeah. You know, I mean, even for a piece of propaganda like Origin, there was stuff in that worked.
Oh yeah, the dramatic moments with the woman and all the tragedies, that was very sad.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and hello to Lost and Real.
Hey, Sean. Sean is part of the Cinema Squad, which is a channel on YouTube that's comprised of different YouTubers. And every year, I've mentioned this. I think I mentioned it on your channel one time when I was sort of, you know, promoting something that was going to be happening. They have the Rubber Ducky Awards every year. Mm-hmm. And for the past couple of years, I've been a presenter of one of the presenters at the Rubber Ducky Awards. And it's real fun. They have it once a year. They have people send in their segments, doing their, you know, the presentation of the category, and then on a specific, and then they have the public go vote, and then they have the public vote. Then they contact the different YouTubers and tell them, you know, what category do you want to present, whatever. And then they tell you who the winner is for that one. And then on the day of the show, you tune in, they come together, they have their live stream thing, and they show that it's just like an award show, you know? And then they talk about the film and interact with the audience about it. It's really fun. You know, if you love movies, that's a fun time. Yeah. So thanks for stopping by, Sean.
Indeed. All right. And yes, I would like to thank everyone who is joining us on Twitter, joining us on Rumble. I do want to very quickly shout out everybody that's joining us live, along with Lost in the Real, Sean. Connie Cleary is with us. Kenny Lee, who's joining us for the first time. Iron Herder is with us. Cream 650, who I'm also seeing for the first time, so thank you for being here. Big Al Presents, The View with Drew, Seraphim, and of course our man from the future, Sashi.
He likes to sit on the sidelines eating snacks. Okay. Mm-hmm. Waiting to watch it. Oh, okay, cool. I hope you enjoy it, Sean. I'm not sure when you tuned in. Deleted and I are divided. We are not in agreement. I loved this film. It didn't work for him. There were parts, as he said, that worked, but it didn't work for him. It was a lot of fun. So if you do a review for it, I will definitely try to check it out. I like to see where various, you know, my various YouTube movie loving buddies, where we agree and where we part ways on certain films. It's just always it's interesting to hear their perspective. We usually are. Sean. So I have a feeling he might like it more than you, Deleted.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh, I know. Yeah, definitely no conflict. No conflict at all about that.
None.
I don't take it personal.
You
if
know,
you don't like the same things I do.
Yeah, movies that get mixed reviews, those are the ones that I find the most fascinating because, there's the chance that you could fall on one side or another for whichever reason, and you can have, as Sashi says in the chat, an actual discourse about it. And that's great. Those are the movies that are, for me, the most fun to review.
Yeah, I love it when discussion happens about stories. And I love how passionate people are. To me, it's so much fun. And I'm not talking about argument, the silly stuff that happens on Twitter, but I love seeing people dissect a film. And yes, it's interesting because they'll come at it sometimes from different angles that you didn't think about. Yes, we can disagree, but have a great conversation about why exactly. That's because we all love movies and we don't love silly drama about them. We just, have our different thoughts about it and what worked and what didn't work. So it's a lot of fun. To me, it's fun. If you can't tell, I love talking about stories. I say it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, so do I.
That's the whole point of these channels. We can connect with people that maybe if you don't have anybody around you in real life that gets it like you do, we found our buddies here. So
yeah.
Which Ghostbusters? You talking about the new one, Sashi? That one. How long was that one? Was that a 2-hour movie? I think it was. Yeah.
It's like 155. Yeah.
Ooh, it felt so long to me. I could not wait for it to be over. Is Sting about? No.
And hello, Dulcimeres.
It's not about him.
This was
or that wrestler.
This was a secret. Sting. Yeah, this was a secret Dune sequel. You didn't know that?
Yeah.
Sashi says yes, the new one.
It did feel a bit long.
What? Yeah, and that was one of the issues that I had with the new Ghostbusters is that they could have streamlined it a bit and give like you could, and like I said in my review with Bill, is that you could have completely cut Patton Oswalt out of the movie,
right,
and given all of his stuff to Dan Aykroyd, and it would have been perfectly fine. It didn't bother me that he was in the movie. I thought that it would. It didn't. Because it's just, it's literally, it's 5 minutes, if that he's in the movie. Yeah,
he's not in there very long.
He's kind of the Basil exposition character. Again, you could have given that scene to Ray in podcast, and it would have been perfectly fine as it was. But, but Ghostbusters is a movie where everybody seems to have some issue or another with it, even the people who liked it.
Right, yeah.
So it's disappointing to me on the basis that happened, that we're kind of going after it in a way that it is. It's a flawed movie. It's a rental at best. It was kind of a missed opportunity, I guess.
But, yeah,
it just it's what it is.
Just didn't capture the charmingness, the charm of the first one, or the Afterlife one. That one worked for me. Oh well.
Yeah. Well, hey. Okay. The new Ghostbusters had too many side quests, and in my opinion, needed to be simple. It did need to be. I didn't have any trouble following it,
Oh, I could follow it fine. That wasn't an issue for me.
Side quests. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, though, that has nothing to do with Sting.
No.
Very easy to get off track.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I want to hear from the chat. I mean, you guys are why we come on and do this.
Yeah. We're talking with each other, but also with you guys.
Yeah. So I don't want to leave you out of the conversation. But yeah, this has been an odd year for me because I seem to be split down the middle on so many movies. The number of movies I have liked so far this year kind of equal the number I haven't. It's been this kind of iffy year.
Yeah, so it's not been a super stellar year. I think so far, probably my favorite film has been Late Night with the Devil so far. I need to refresh my memory. I might be forgetting something. I 4-starred that one as well. But nice. I feel like even though I 4-starred this one, I liked that experience more. It's about the exact same amount of time as well. Like 92 minutes. Looking forward to when you can see that.
Well, about that.
Yes.
I had a few minutes before, and this is something that I did want to bring up real quick. Okay. I had a bit of an odyssey getting to the movie tonight.
Yes, you were saying you were going to talk about that, and I completely forgot.
I almost forgot as well. Yeah. I had a flat tire. On my bike that I thought I had repaired. Because I bike to the theater, it takes me a half hour-ish, and it's good exercise.
Dark roads,
so that's what I do.
Dark roads, is it safe in that area?
Is it safe? No, but it can be done. And it gets darker later now, so...
Yeah, but it's dark when you get back.
Also true. But there are side roads and stuff that I can take. No, you didn't derail the conversation, Sashi.
It's all good, Sashi.
Yeah, I'm here. I can derail a show easy enough on my own.
I have done it plenty of times myself.
I derail a program when I'm on alone with myself. So,
yeah, I interrupt myself all the time.
But yeah, so thankfully my neighbor ran me up and back, was kind enough to do that.
Oh, that's good.
And in fact, I was going to leave him the link for the show, and I forgot to do it, so I got to do it later. He won't be able to catch it live. Anyway, so yeah, that was my right, and so I had some time before he came to pick me up. So I went and did something I haven't really gotten much of a chance to do of late.
Okay,
and that is to sneak into the other theaters and see what's showing. And
so you caught a glimpse of Late Night.
I caught a glimpse of Late Night with the Devil.
Oh, okay.
And
okay. What part?
Let's just say I am now aware that there is an off-screen fatality.
Okay. I know who you're referring to.
I will take it that people who see the movie will know what I mean. So, well, that I wasn't expecting everybody to walk away from that picture, and I'll be surprised if anybody's alive by the end of it. To be honest, yeah,
you shall see. And what's interesting about that movie is that it can be interpreted in different ways, because there are certainly some, like, not necessarily. Yeah, things are kind of open-ended, and there are various ways that you can perceive what had actually happened. Like, I I can't get into detail because you haven't seen it. So, and I'm assuming most of the audience hasn't as well. But yeah, that's one I'm really looking forward to when more and more people can get their eyes on it.
I also got in and caught a snippet of Love Lies Bleeding.
I have zero interest in that movie.
And the one thing I have to say to that is Kristen Stewart seems to be back to the blinking and stammering thing.
Oh no! See, that's the thing. She doesn't blink. She just doesn't know.
And
that's one of the reasons I'm not interested.
When did Ed Harris start turning into Benjamin Franklin?
With his hair.
With the hair.
I was like, some people really like that look. They feel like it's a very effective look because he's really bad in here.
He's had that hair before in a movie.
He has?
He has. Where he had it, the business going on in the back, as they used to say. He was in a movie called Riders of the Purple Sage.
Okay, I've not seen
which was a Western. It was on TNT originally. And was actually good enough that I'm surprised it wasn't in theaters, but it was on television. And he had kind of that long hair going in the back like that too in that movie. But
okay. So this is a look he's worn before.
Well, ish, yeah. It made more sense in that other movie. And here you're just like, bruh. Okay, I'm judging two movies here on like a minute and a half of both, but yeah. But I tell you what, that minute and a half made me interested to go see them. So they were, in my opinion,
okay.
And in my opinion, both of those snippets were better than anything that was in this movie. But
oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Late Night with the Devil, it's on my mind a lot. I'm still thinking about it. There's parts of it that feel very nostalgic because, as you saw, it's supposed to take place on a talk show in the, late night talk show in the 70s, late 70s. And I just thought the writing was really interesting. I was very just captivated by what was happening and very creeped out by certain things that were happening. And I thought the acting was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully I'll get a chance to see it in theaters. Unfortunately, I might not be able to see it until later in the week.
I was going to say, how long is it supposed to be at your theater?
It's in my don't know for sure.
I have no idea for how long.
Because it is going to be on Shudder, I think.
Next month.
Sometime next month. Isn't it? I might have to wait.
Yeah, but, I don't know the date. If I hadn't gotten the screener, I would have gone to see it on the big screen. But I'm glad I got the screener because I'm very limited on time before I have to, leave town again next week. So it worked out well.
All right. So, final score on Sting. Sin loved it.
I loved it.
Me, not so much, unfortunately. I really wanted to like this one. It wasn't the sum of its parts for me, but hey, there are people who love this thing. There were definitely some applause at the end of my screening. My screening also did have some walkouts, but that's par for the course for the movie night. It's very rare that someone doesn't walk out at some point.
Yeah.
So I don't use that as a gauge in any way. I didn't feel like I wasted my time seeing it. I'm glad that we had a chance to do this show because I like doing this show.
Yeah.
And so that came out of it at least. And
there's that. Yeah. Oh well, there's a positive to be found.
Yeah.
We had
So
weird stuff going on in our theater. Like, someone came in and you couldn't see because, there's like the wall that's, as the entryway. People are walking into the theater.
Mhm.
The dividing wall between the seats and the, the entrance.
Right.
Someone came in and like they yelled out, "Silence!" really, really loud. And then they just stormed out. They ran out. And it was so confusing because at first I thought, was that like surround sound? And it was like, was this in the movie? It was really weird. And then people laughing at stuff that wasn't even funny in the movie. It was just, I don't know. We had a weird audience. It was strange.
You want to hear?
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think the worst walkout was for "It's a Wonderful Knife." I think that was the worst. The biggest number of walkouts that I saw in my theater. So what were you going to say?
Biggest number of walkouts for me is still Origin.
Origin. Okay.
Yeah.
In mine,
Origin was not good.
In mine, it was just a family that left because they had very young kids, and I'm assuming that they left because it was like they're not going to get it. It's going to be boring to them. So they left. Those were the only ones that I noticed. Did the silence guy? I honestly have no idea. I could not see him.
If you want to go and hear about bad audiences, as I had mentioned Brad Jones before, Stoned Gremlin Productions, check out his review of the Bye Bye Man.
Bye Bye Man. Okay, I haven't heard of that movie. I don't think.
Oh, you missed the Bye Bye Man?
Yeah, I don't think I heard.
Oh, you are so lucky. God, that movie was
okay,
awful.
Good. Okay, good.
Oh man.
When did this movie come out?
Oh, this was how long ago was the Bye Bye Man now? Oh, that goes back a ways. I'm trying to.
So it's not like something new that I happened to miss.
No, it isn't. It isn't new. I'll have to look and see what year that was. Anyway, that one, and what you're reminding me of here with the this guy who kind of disrupted your screening. Kind of reminds me of when I went to go see Troy.
Oh.
It was a second run theater. And okay. I don't know why I decided to see it, but I went to go see it. And there's this guy who was sitting in front of this older couple that was sitting in front of me. And, the guy is just sitting there like this.
Okay.
The entire time. He's like that Walter puppet, that Jeff Dunham has, just sitting there kind of like that. With that same look on his face. And 2 hours in, he just goes, "Baloney!" and walks out.
He'd had enough.
Leaves his wife sitting there.
Oh, just, no.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't
goodness.
blame you, but how can I like a movie that forgets to kill Sean Bean? Come on.
Oh gosh.
That's the level we're working on here, kids.
I feel like I've heard you say this story before on a while back. That's funny.
Oh, I'm sure I have.
That he sat through it that long before deciding he was ready to go. He kept narrating other. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a Dan Critchula Snipper Stanley. Wow.
Oh, Lord.
Jeez.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
People.
Oh, man. But I come from this time when I was in my teenage years, I used to go to these sort of inner city what for us was an inner city type of theater, where you were used to people yelling stuff at the screen or to the point of throwing something at the screen if they didn't like what they were watching.
Very animated audiences.
So yeah, so
sometimes
I'm
those are
used
fun,
to that
though.
sort of
Actually,
thing. Yeah,
sometimes that's fun. When people are talking with each other very loudly, that's annoying.
yeah.
But when people are reacting to what's happening on this, I love to watch reaction type videos of movies in the movie theater, like where you can hear the audience reaction. Those are so much fun. Like during pivotal, huge moments, I got the biggest kick out of watching some for No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home. That was so much fun. It just makes me excited all over again about the movie-going experience.
So she says, the only weird experience I had in a theater was during Star Trek Nemesis. The only other people in the hall was a couple that wasn't there for the movie. Oh.
Okay. Oh.
That was you?
There for
no.
You were there for something else? No. Okay.
I had a moment like that once.
We're
not going to go into that.
Knew of moments like that.
Well, I'm sure he has.
Because he worked there for a while.
I was at a theater watching a movie, and a dude in the next row pulled out a foot-long Subway and started eating it. How do you smuggle that into a movie?
There are ways. We both said it at the same time. I'm always smuggling in coffee.
I'm lengthy. No. White noise scared me. Sorry. White noise scared me so badly. I was glad I saw it in the Cleveland theater with people talking loudly about the movie in a row behind me. It kept me from getting too scared.
Oh, okay. So in that case, it worked.
So Adam Driver movies frighten you? He means the Keaton one. Oh, right.
That was going to say, I'm assuming he's talking about the Keaton one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been forever since I saw that.
Yeah. All right. So it's about time to wrap it up here, I think.
Yeah,
I think
we have been going at it for a bit, haven't we?
Yeah, sufficiently run this one into the ground. All right.
Agreed.
I would like to thank everybody who joined us tonight. We had as many as 55 people watching us, which I think is on all the different.
Cool. Nice.
So
that's awesome.
Let me see. Dulcimer says one more for us. Oh, I went to see Blair Witch, and in the middle of it, a couple in the front row had a 4-year-old and 6-year-old start crying incessantly. Who brings kids there? Yeah.
I've seen people bring very young children to movies that are very much not appropriate.
You know, what surprised me were people who brought children to the Black Phone.
Oh, little young kids? Like how young?
That young.
Oh, yeah. That's be scary for them.
No. But yeah. All right. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Sin, what do you have? Hold on. Oh. I kicked us both. Get us out of here. Wrong button. All right. There we go. Sin, what do you have?
Pretty much the same thing I mentioned last night during the Other Side of Midnight. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to... I got to finish editing my review for Late Night with the Devil. And hope to get that up tomorrow. And then at 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be on Have Cheetah Will View, his channel. He's, I guess, like an interview type of conversation thing. And then on Wednesday, I'll be on Sound Booth Theater Live. I'll also be streaming it to my channel. We're going to be talking about Midnight Run and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. And that reminds me, I need to watch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang between now and then. Oh. And before I leave for out of town, I'm going to try to finish watching Renegade Nell so I can do a review for that. That's an upcoming Disney Plus show. And I was going to do an audio review for the first 3 episodes of X-Men 97, but I haven't done it yet. But that's the immediate things that come to mind.
And of course, join me right back here on my channel. tomorrow at tentatively 5 o'clock. I might have to push it back, but as of right now, 5 o'clock for my 2-year anniversary / 2K subscribers / monetization celebration stream. That will be going until just after 8, because at 8:30 will be the next episode of Live from Sparkwood and 21, my Twin Peaks. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm getting old. I forget words now. Retrospective series.
Oh, okay.
That will be at 8:30. Troy Pacelli, Netters Network, and Aged Boomer will be joining me for that broadcast. Later on this week, Action Theater, which is Thursday at 4 p.m. Jedi Bill and myself will be simulcasting that broadcast, and we're going to be watching 3,000 Miles from Graceland with Kurt Russell and Kevin Costner. Dulce Marist is asking, will I have birthday cake? Sadly, no. So she says I might pop in later, then 5 would be too early for me. I understand it. If nobody can make it, I did kind of very hastily put that link up. So if people can't make it, that's perfectly fine. You can always catch the replay. All right. So that about wraps it up for me for this week. Hopefully I'll be able to catch a few other movies. I'm going to try and see Immaculate, Late Night for the Devil, maybe Roadhouse. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but we'll see. So stay tuned for that. Let's see. Sunday, I'm going to be joining Jedi Bill for Western Cinema Presents. We're going to be watching Broken Trail, starring Robert Duvall and Thomas Hayden Church, Emmy-winning film. It's a very good one, so check that out. And 2 weeks from now, I am going to be joining Big Al Presents, who was in the chat earlier. Hello, Al, if you're still with us. I know it's a little late for you. I'm going to be joining Big Al Presents for Films with Friends, along with Troy and Netters, and we are going to be watching the original Death Race 2000 with David Carradine and Sylvester Stallone. So, all right, that's what I've got coming up.
Busy schedule as always.
Indeed. Bring your own cake, because I can get some cake and eat it while watching the stream. Right. All right. He also said Time Bandits scared you when you were 6. And was supposed to be. It's got some creepy moments in it. Yeah. So I don't blame you there. All right. So, Sin, any last words before we close it out?
No, just Nos Vemos. I told you I was going to make it. You were like wanting me to have some sort of tagline.
You need a tagline.
I don't know. Nos Vemos. Hasta luego. That's it. That's all I can think of. Yes. Oh, and here we'll say night-night to the doggies.
Aw.
There was a chihuahua in the movie, and it reminded me of my little chibi.
Oh, did she make it out alive?
I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, but I want to know if Chibi made it out alive.
Okay, Arthur.
Alrighty.
Yeah, that's all I've got. Nos Vemos, everybody. See you later.
Okay. Alrighty.
Thanks for stopping by.
Indeed. All right. As I always say, thank you all once again for being here. I think this was the most viewed live episode so far.
Nice.
So please hit the like. If you're new to our channels, please subscribe. And don't forget to share out the stream.
Yes. And join us again for more movie talk.
Right. From HQ, good night, take care, stay strong, because this is how we win.
Bye, everyone.